Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a few days since I've done any work on the Hetzer. It's been really hot here, and back at work now. Had no time, so got some spare time, and we're gonna continue on with the wash. I'm gonna show you how to make up an oil wash. You can use any washes you want. The acrylic washes like Games Workshop and stuff like that are absolutely fine, but I find with armour models, really experiment with some of your oil paints and stuff like that, and make washes, because they're absolutely awesome. You can make them to any consistency you want, and you can make them as strong or as weak as you want. You can they're just fantastic. So and that's the beauty of it. And also there's little techniques that you can do with an oil wash where you can't do with an acrylic wash. So let's get into it. Now I've got some burnt umber and some black, and we're going to mix it all with a bit of white spirits. That I find that's the best. Now I've gloss varnished the Hetzer, so it's all gloss varnished. Tracks are still separate. So let's get into making up a bit of wash here. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of burnt umber. Now you don't want, in my opinion, that you don't want straight black. You want to get some of the more natural tones of shadows, not just an all out there black shadow. So basically, put a bit of mineral white spirits, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly make up a wash. I'm pretty selective. Now you can see that's a brown and that's a black wash right there. Still a bit strong. That one's probably, that black's quite strong. Now what I do is I'll do a separate one over here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at my I'm just going to wash my brush. Now I'm going to look at my brown wash. Not quite mixed properly, but no, it's quite dark. So what I'll do is I put a bit of brown into this bit of now there's many ways you can do this. This is just how I do it. And I'll just continue adding until I'm happy. I'm pretty happy with that. So I've got a black wash here, which is quite strong. I've got a brown wash, and now I have a mixture here of the black and brown. So let's grab the tank. I'm just going to put my mixture down. As I said, there's many ways you can make those washes. You can make, as I said, you can make it to any consistency you want. Now I'm going with the mixture, and we're going to try and see what that's like. So it needs to be a bit darker, so I'm going to add a little bit of black, and I'm going to just take from the paint a little bit more brown and put in there just straight brown paint. That's much better. I don't know how that's coming out. You can see it pool nicely around those there, around the detail. And that's it. Now you want to get into all the, let's see if you can see this going to work, this wash. You can see it flowing into the cracks and starting to bring out the detail, as you can see all up in here. It's especially good along this raw metal where it's been cut. So we'll try a bit here. And just as it pulls in around the details, it starts bringing out those natural shadows. So guys, I'll get to adding some wash onto this, just like so, and we'll be back. Okay guys, wash is on. Why an oil wash? Well, for the reasons I explained before, but there's another technique which is only available to you if you do an oil wash, and that's basically you grab yourself a cotton wool tip. Basically, when your wash is just about dry, because it is an oil wash and it takes a long time to dry, a lot longer than acrylics, you can start taking the wash off on your flat surfaces like so. And what this is going to do, this will give you a really nice gradual natural blend from the flat areas of the tank into the recesses. Alright guys, now the wash is dried, we're going to apply a filter. Now a filter is basically is a process where you want to change the appearance of your base colours. So maybe you want to fade, you want to, basically it's rain streaks, all that sort of stuff. It basically all is achieved through filters. So basically what it does is it takes the colour and adds literally what it says, a filter over the top of it to slightly change the original appearance. Now I only go for rain streaks and weathering, so I've got a mixture of white, blue, yellow and red. You're going to think they're strange colours, but we'll show you what it looks like in a sec. So to apply a filter, pick your surface and throw some dots down. Not too much blue. Blue's just to help, and not a real lot of red. These colours are just help slightly offset the. Now, take our white spirits and we drag it down. Like so, make it look like it's Van Gogh's oil palette. Now, everyone does this different, so this is just how I do it. And I've already probably put a bit too much on. Alright, what I do here, just take a bit off, and we'll just keep. That's better. And we just keep blending it until all the colours are blended together and slightly start giving you that weathered appearance, that more faded look of the paint. And that's all a filter is. Now you can be as liberal or as sparing as you want with the filter. It's whatever the look you're after, whatever you're trying to achieve. Me, I'm trying to achieve a very worn paint, very faded and worn from all the sun and the action. So that's why mine will be quite washed out. And that's it there, guys. Looks rather faded and washed out. You can get a cotton wool bud if you wish. You can clean up some areas. You just take a little bit of that fading away and it'll just add to a more patchy appearance of weathering. And you can see it working here, like so. You can see on the back there. And now we'll add some rain streaks. So here we go. Alright guys. Rightio, some rain streaks. This is the funnest bit. Rain streaks, you can buy stuff to make rain streaks, or you just do what I do and just keep using the oil paints. It's the best thing. So I want to do some oil streaks, and I want to look at some rust as well. So I'm going to be using a little bit of what have we got here? Okay, I want to be using a little bit of burnt sienna oil paint, and I want to also be using a little bit of yellow ochre. So I'll be using the yellow ochre and the burnt sienna for some rust. Now I might just use a little bit of burnt umber as well. This is endless. You know, with what you can do here with all this, like, it's just absolutely endless. You with the oil paints, they're just terrific for scale models and especially armor. Just for all these different things, like different ways of weathering. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pick some spots randomly on the tank. You got to think about natural flow of water and where you want your rain streaks. So a bit of oil paint and and just drag your oil paint with a bit of white spirits. Same as if you're adding a filter, but you're not what's the word? You're not applying it. It's more selective. Now this all takes time. Don't throw this on, guys, and think you're going to do it in a couple of minutes. It takes time. You got to really work the colours. You got to manipulate them into how you know, to get a realistic effect. So, but something like that, like I'll probably work with this a little bit more. But that's pretty much it for the rain streaks. That's how I do them. There is stuff out there you can buy, rain streak weathering stuff. I find oil paints is just as good, and if not just as cheap. So basically, as I said, it's patience. Patience is the key, because you gotta really manipulate the oil paint to where you want it to go. And there's your rain streaks. That's how I want it to look. So you can see it's quite faded, and now we're going to the rust. Same thing, guys. Literally the same way as we just applied the rain streaks. We now pick selective areas that you want to rust, where you want rust to have ran. It's exactly the same. You've got to have an understanding on how, like, go out and look at a tin shed and see how rusts run down the tin shed, and that way you'll get a bit of an idea on how you want to run it. So I'm using a little bit of brown, a bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of ochre, a little bit of red. It's all going to look quite a lot in one sort of a thing. I got probably a little bit too much red. Good thing about oil washes, guys, you can just clean it up. You put too much, you clean it up. Now this is the same as your rain streaks. I'll take a bit of that away. You can see that patch. Now I'll take my burnt sienna, which is the brown, the browny coloured paint. I'll put a little bit of burnt sienna there, and a little bit of ochre, and now I'll try and run that in a more of a concentrate. It's probably a little bit too much yellow ochre there. Just clean up a little bit. Get this in frame so you guys can see. clean up a bit on the side so it's not so fanned out now. Now you can see that looks quite nice. It needs to have a more of a browner contrast there. So and guys, it's the same thing. You just work it until you get the desired effect. And you see I've got like a light brown rust there. That's probably fine just like that. Probably don't need to do much there. Same here. We'll go to the front. So we just a little bit of yellow, tiniest little bit of red. It seems to be quite dominant, that red. Bit of brown, and all that. You got nice yellow ochre there, and we blend it. You can see it's a beautiful rust colour. And now we just want to fan that out. And it's like, you can almost say it's like adding a selective filter. Like you're picking particular spots and selectively, pretty much you might as well say selectively putting a filter in that area. Then you just get your cotton wool tip. Oh, sorry guys, getting your cotton wool tip. I just want to. See if you can see, just like that, and just like that. Rightio guys, we're on to chipping. As you can see, we've got all the rust streaks. I'm happy with the way the rust looks, the weathering, the shadows, the shades. Now I'm onto some chipping. I did a little bit of chipping here just to see if it was going to be the right colour. I think it's going to work okay. So all we're using is a bit of German grey by Flames of War. I'm getting I've got a little bit of sponge out of the blisters that you get for Flames of War. I've screwed it up into like a little ball, and all I'm going to do, you've all seen it. I just stuff that. Just get a bit of German grey, and we're going to dab it on the areas we want chipped, which is just usually your toolboxes, defenders here, some of the lower bits of the hull, bit on the gun mantlet and around here, bits where they've been scrambling on the tank. Okay guys, I'm back. I've got the right colour. It's called sandy yellow, and basically what we do on some of the heavier chipped parts, like you can see here on the there we go, like here on the toolbox, what we do is get a little bit on our brush and we just sort of do an outline. Totally stuff that. try that again. Get a bit more German grey. Just right. Now, let's try that again. On some of these heavier chipped parts, what we do is get our brush and you get the base coat, the base colour, but just a couple of shades lighter. And we just run a small line around the solid. Sort of, you do it in a jagged pattern, like so. Sorry guys, get in focus here. Just like that, just so it gives that that illusion that there is peeled paint. It only really works on the solid areas. You don't want to draw a complete solid line, just like a line that's dotted, like so. Just like that. And you only want to hit the bits that are really, really like solid grey. And here. But you don't want to, you really don't want to do too many of them. As I said, it can start becoming, it can become looking a bit gamey after a while when you do it like this. The best way is to do it is get that that sponge, chip it up with the sponge, and then the more solid colours of grey that you see there, just block them back in. Put like a white line like this, that lighter ring around it, and there you go. You can do the tracks too if you want, but I tend not to. I just sort of, I'll weather them with some pigments. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let's have a look. So that's her there, quite weathered. Basically all we've got to do is the grill, do a little bit of work on the muffler, and the tank's pretty much finished apart from the crew. Paint the MG. I might go back through and put some chipping on the MG shield, but for the most part that's pretty much it. Alright guys, cheers.